Hello and welcome back. So while you've been away, I started thinking about the battery build and then got a bit confused because nothing was being made, and then I had a look at the main site and there was no stone coming in, and then I had a look at some other things and that was broken as well, and then I realised the power was low, and I realised the steam power was running even when we had plenty of charge in the capacitors, and it just became one job after another of maintenance. So what I have been doing is putting down just a load of solar. I actually had to trim this solar back because it was overlapping a nice patch of copper. I have extended the solar all the way up to rail. We now have 1, 2, 3 solar stops. So there's one here, then there's one here, and one here. I've started putting solar down below the east wall rail line, and I've been being a bit more systematic about putting down radars this time. The other thing, so we are getting our coal for the megabase from here, and that is above the line of our 4-lane highway, and I really wanted to try and make sure that the 4-lane highway was where all our resources plugged in. It ends here, which is a little bit annoying. Part of the reason it ends here is we used to have an outpost in this area. This was our second outpost, I think. It's now completely mined out, and I've largely tidied it up. But it means there's this annoying kink in the rail line. I really would like to square this off with solar panels. So the next job is to reroute this bit of track. Once I've rerouted the track, I think I can start extending this 4-lane highway out further. Annoyingly, these two outposts are still being used. So they are still supplying copper, mainly copper, and a bit of coal and a touch of iron to the main base. Most of the iron's coming from these two deposits over here. The other thing I've done while you've been away is installed the mod, what's it called? I think it's All Labeler. Let's have a look. Options, mod settings, resource labels. All right. So what this does is scans your map in all the visible area and adds labels to all the ore patches. Now, my map's quite large and most of the ore patches are quite small, so there's a minimum resource count. This is the smallest resource that it will add a label to. I set that to 20 million. As we move forward, I will probably up that to 25 or 30 or 50 or 100. But right now, 20 million is sort of the minimum I care about at all. So there's now a load of labels on the map of these bigger ore patches. So there's a 20 of copper, 25, 25, 29 of stone, 47 of copper. Okay, so 43 of iron. So it's the ones around 40 which I'm going to take first, but the stone, that's a nice big patch of stone, 29 million. See, this is 4.6, so it hasn't had a label added to it. This whole region here probably isn't what I'm going to be able to actually harvest resources from, because as the megabase grows, as we need more materials, we'll have more of these modules stacked up one behind the other. So for smelting, for example, I will bring in a rail along here and put another smelter behind it. So we'll probably end up building over that 20 million iron. And similarly out here, we'll need more sites for green circuits, for copper smelting, for reds, for blues, plastic, and so on. So we'll build over these items here, look, most likely. So really we're looking at getting resources from this area and this area, and if we really have to, this area. My plan is though to see if we can fill the whole of this quad with solar, and then that should give us enough solar power to carry us through for quite a while. So the solar is building out. You can see these flashing lights. These are the bits which are on order for the bots to build, and different areas light up at different times as it pages through the build queue. And we have quite a few quite a few construction bots here. There are 3,298 construction bots. The reason is I accidentally bridged this logistics network over onto the main base logistics network, and it just grabbed a bunch of construction bots from the main base and built a bunch more when I wasn't looking. Now it's not actually managing to use anything like that much because it's limited by the supply to the solar stations, and they are limited by the speed of the solar train, which is this train here, and that is limited by the rate at which it can be supplied, and that is limited by the speed of these two machines. And these two machines currently are limited because they're running at full speed, and we need another pair of these. So maybe that is my first job. Yeah, I think my first job is to double up the production of the solar. We don't need these landmines anymore. So, other things that are going on in my life. It is now the summer holidays. The kids are home. And it's been really warm. So, I live up in the north of England. Even in the north of England, it is warm, which is unusual. And the kids love it. But it means it's been uncomfortable the last few days. Right, if we grab that, we can put another one down here. Cool, and then let's see. Take that through. I'm not sure how to route these. Alright, this one's easy, we just put a split. This is a horrible, dirty build. I make no apology. It is just here to get things done. Right, the copper we can bodge easily enough. Right, if we put in one piece of belt. There we are, that's the copper. These two are more awkward because they're up against a beacon. Okay, so I wonder, can we put a split? Okay, we happen to have a nice split already here. Okay, so can we bring something in? Okay, that's the green circuits. Cool, and then the last one is this split belt of where we only really want we don't really want the engines, do we? It's just the steel. Okay, let's skip that down. Okay, if we go down one less than that, there we are. Okay. Well, that is horribly ugly. This is requesting green circuits. I think we can take that box out. Great. And this is not running at full speed because it's having trouble putting in enough green circuits. So there must be a problem here as well. Okay, let's give it 2 inputs, see if that helps. Yep, that's fine, that's helped that. And then I think we could do something similar here. Yep, there we are. Great. Yep, they all have green lights, so we have doubled our production of... Oh, that's gone red. Steel. We're low on steel. Okay, so this is a yellow belt. So it doesn't need the blue belt for the box build, but because we're stealing things off the end of this line, there we are. Okay. So we're now putting down a fully compressed line of steel on a half belt. Yep, fully compressed. And that's keeping everything going. Great. So we've roughly doubled our production of those things. Let's just check production. Over 10 minutes, we want to look at solar panels and accumulators. Where are they? I can't see the... Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay, so we were making much more. And we're not... We've upped our solar panels drastically. Let's see how this goes. I'm wondering if there was some other process making accumulators. Well, anyway, we're making a lot more panels, which is good. Okay, so these are starving on batteries. Let's run back up, see the battery line. Okay, this is all blue. Batteries come in on a yellow belt. And the reason for that is we just don't make many batteries. Okay, let's head down. And the batteries are limited. Okay, they're limited by the amount of copper and iron coming in, but the copper and iron is on the yellow belt because that was sufficient before. Okay, let's upgrade that because we may want to increase our rate of production of batteries. At the very least, we're going to need a full yellow belt. We may need a full red belt of batteries. At this point in the game, belt is cheap. There's no point really to use yellow and red belt. Okay. So this isn't producing a full yellow of batteries. So let's try extending this build out. I'm just trying to work out what a build is. Right. I'm going to take it up to that beacon just because it makes it easy to overlap. Right, that's another 4 machines. Okay, and another 4, 4, 8, 12, another 12. Great. This is pretty cool watching this get built. So how are we doing now? Okay, so I think that is near enough a full belt. Not quite a full belt. Okay. So in a minute I'll do a max rate. I'll see what this should be building out. We're just waiting on a couple of speed modules. And I think this is it. Great. So we want to find out what's the production stats on that in transport belts. So this reckons it puts out 1.4 transport belts. And let's head up. Yeah, that is fully compressed, which means some of these machines are backed up. Great, so that means we can upgrade this belt, and the time for skimping and saving is over. I'm just going to upgrade it to blue. So I could upgrade this to red. There'd be no harm in that. Okay. I purposefully didn't use upgrade planner on this map. I know this is exactly the sort of job it's for. I find it's overpowered for the instant replace, and for the replace where you use bots, it marks things for deconstruction, which stops parts of your factory from working. So I don't find that it works for me. What I want really is a proper in-game upgrader where it marks things for upgrade rather than marking them for deconstruction and building, and so it would work on anything that's fast to replace. Right, I want to auto trash yellow belt. I don't want any of it. I want to auto trash undergrounds. I want a single stack. I want to auto trash yellows. Oh, I'm putting this in logistics, not in auto trash. Try again. Okay, I want to auto trash back to 50 of those. I want to auto trash down to 0 of the yellow belts and 0 of the yellow splitters. In fact, I don't think I need any yellow undergrounds. That can completely go. I was thinking of belt weaving, but we can do belt weaving with right. We can belt weave with red and blue. We don't need yellow for that. Whoops. Put some belting backwards there. And again. Okay, and I'm actually out of blue belt. Here we are. I can honestly say I've never had a blue belt with batteries on before. Okay, there we are. So let's head down. Good, these are backing up. Yeah, we've solved our battery problem. We haven't solved our green circuit problem. We're now using up more than half a lane of these. This line is yellow. So if we upgrade this to blue, that will help. And then it's a production of green circuits problem. Right, so let's head over to green circuits. We are putting out not quite full, not quite 2 full belts of green. And only 3 of our 4 machines are going. I think that's because there's only enough copper coming in for 3 of 4. Sorry, I've just exploded a beer. So I could bring in more copper. we're already consuming an entire lane of copper here. Right, what's the best one to pinch from? Is there one of these that isn't moving? Well, these two are not moving. Not sure there is. So I really want to inject another line of copper here. Let's do something. Okay, let's run across and see. Okay, so we can pull off this bottom line, I think, because the bottom line is backfilled by everything else. And what line do I want to come in at? I'm going to sneak the extra copper in through here, so it'll be on this line. Is that it? I think that's it. Okay, so we're going to sneak it in here, and we'll do it like this. If I pull that up, put in a split, there we are. And we will prioritize the input there. Right, I seem to have a logistics loop. There we are. I was requesting yellow splitters and trashing them. So that should have fixed our copper problem. Okay, so we now have an equivalent iron problem, which we will fix in the same way. Now let's check that I can steal this bottom line of iron. Okay, so I want to pull off an iron which is being backfilled before it's being... So I think the second one is the one to pull off.
Dad, that's my watermelon.
No, it's not.
It is mine.
No, I'm eating a brand new
Mine
watermelon.
My one was on a plate.
Yep.
Mom, it's just...
Okay, where we snuck in the copper is where we're taking out green circuits, so I can't do that same trick. Can I bring something in here maybe? The substation gets in the way. So maybe it's a case of just powering the final one off its own iron. Or can I move... No, I can't move that beacon down because it wouldn't hit the copper anymore. So I think it might be a case of bringing a line in all the way down here and then feeding it in like that, just into the last machine. Okay. So I want to steal some iron. I think I want to steal it from this second belt up. So let's skip over there. Okay, how else could we do this? think we're taking about a third of a belt. Yeah, it's backing up. Well, it's not being used, that's why it's backing up. Great. So the other things that are going on tonight is, because it is the summer holidays and because it's been warm and the kids are excited, all the neighbourhood kids are camping in the backyard. And I have a beer, and it means they are in and out occasionally to tell me important things. Right, so we now have the best part of 2 solid lines of green. And of course some of it gets used for things, but are we now doing better here? Yeah, we're doing better. Okay, let's check the production stats. Yeah, so our production for that is way up. And we're approximately... My daughter's now hiding behind my chair. I'm to not let her mum know that she's here. Okay, that's that job done. So oh, we're almost out of sulfur. Goodness me. JD did a base tour of this base the other day. Thanks very much for doing it. It was entertaining to see what you thought about my base. Made a comment about how he'd never seen sulfur belted, which is fair enough, and that I had a ridiculous amount of sulfur being made. Well, it's all being consumed here. The not quite red belt of sulfur is being entirely consumed making sulfur now, because we're making lots of batteries. Right, let's extend this build. Okay, that's a bit bigger. And it's going to need some underground pipes. Right. She's not hiding under my desk.
Right, come on, you.
I don't know.
Come with me.
I don't know.
I know, come with me. Bring that out of your dad's room.
Okay. So I think we're 1 machine off a full belt, but I'll have to move the belt balance up. Down, sorry. Okay, so this lane swap is here. Are we getting a... Yeah, this is backing up, so I think we need to do the lane swap. And I'm trying to think of the easiest way to do a lane swap in the space available. So it was on this machine. I want to do it on this machine. Right, I wonder if we could put in a split and that. Would that work? Okay, and then let's set a filter for sulfur. There we are. So that's a nice space fishing contraption. It does a lane swap in 2 tiles rather than, I think it's 4 or 5 for a standard lane swap. So we now have a full lane on the one side and a full lane on the other side. There you are, I can see the full. Let that work through. That should give us a full lane of sulfur into these sulfuric acid machines. There you are. So these machines are consuming the full red belt, but I think we're okay. Great. So that should have increased the sulfuric acid production, and that should have helped out the... So that's not too bad. And batteries are the other one. All the battery machines are going. Yep, and we're producing an adequate supply of batteries. Great. So how are we doing now? Yep, all these lights are on. Okay, I had one other job to do. Now let's zoom out, I don't want to get run over. Right. I want to sort out this thing here, but I think I'm going to do this next episode. The one job I was going to do this time is the job I'm not doing. In the meantime, let's have a look at this lovely solar field. Yeah, it's cool, isn't it? It's building out nicely. All 3 solar stations need supplying. They turn themselves off when they have at least one of each item. So because it is turned on, which means it's run out of something. Don't actually know what it's run out of. Oh, solar panels. Okay. Goodness knows why it's run out. So, whoop. That was a nuke. That's a good place to end the game. I'll be back next time and we will fix this outpost that I've just accidentally nuked. Alright, until then, like, subscribe, tell your friends, and see you later. Bye.